So, the Trumna Prime, our primed coffin gun, is now in game. This is a very powerful weapon made originally by the Entrati family based on lore, and it is easily one of the most satisfying weapons to use in game. It is a lot of fun. Now, it is a heavy, fully automatic rifle with explosive rounds. Every kill with the Trumna Prime's primary fire will contribute to a charge of its devastating alternate fire, which is fueled by the life essence of your enemies. Think about that. You're literally sucking the souls out of your enemies as you kill them, and then using those souls to blow up other enemies. It's killing a dude with a group of other dudes. It's pretty dark when you think about it, but it does fit that coffin theme. So these are the relics you're going to need in order to get all of Zaku's Prime access from the Quasis, the Trumna, and of course Zaku Prime himself. It is a relic cheat sheet that I've came across over on Reddit, so happy hunting. Now, the primary fire of this weapon is hit scan, and it fires bullets, like I said, that explode on impact in a very small radius that suffer a very minimal damage fall off. When it gets 5 kills, the Trumna Prime's secondary fire will be fully charged, which is indicated by the slight bar underneath your aiming reticle. Now, when it is fully charged and you decide to fire your alternate fire mode, it will fire a bouncing grenade that detonates on each bounce. Each explosion deals massive area of effect damage and increased damage compared to the primary shot, making it amazing with crowded groups of enemies. Now, the alternate fire will ricochet off surfaces and of course enemies, sending out blasts in different directions. Now, compared to the normal Trumna, the Prime has a larger magazine, faster reload, higher crit multiplier and status chance, but the base crit chance stays the same. It also deals more heat damage on impact from that secondary fire. Like I said, this is an incredibly fun weapon, but also a very, very powerful one. Bringing this with a Warframe who can add, I guess, damage to it, whether you bring Zaku to add void damage to it, and then also strip enemies' defenses just to add to that carnage, or if you wanted to, you could go one further and bring it on a weapons platform frame like a Siren or an Ember with Roar thrown into the mix. Entirely up to you. It's going to be even more powerful. Now, of course, companions are going to add to the effectiveness of pretty much any weapon that you bring in Warframe, especially the Trumna as well. You can bring a Sentinel that could boost its output with a grouping mechanic to get the most out of that secondary fire, or you can bring a Moa with a Whiplash Mine that will tether enemies together and then pull them all in. Or companion weapons like the Tazakor or the Verglass, which can then proc cold effects to get the most out of Arcane Frostbite, which will give you more multi-shot and more crit damage. And since this is a crit weapon, getting more crit damage is going to be huge. Now, the downside to this weapon is it has a slow reload, it's got self-stagger from those explosive rounds if you're too close to enemies, and the fact that the Prime has a lower Riven disposition than the normal version, which is going to suck if you're someone who has a really good Riven, or maybe you're someone who knew this weapon was on its way, so you went out and actually farmed a Trumna Riven or bought one, and now it's not going to be as effective as it is on the base Trumna. But how did I choose to mod mine? Now, I've gone ahead and I've put 5 Forma on my Trumna Prime. Now, the unique trait of this weapon is that kills with your primary fire will charge up your alternate fire, and then when you use your alternate fire, it will release a bouncing projectile that explodes on contact, which is why it's the coffin gun, right? Galvanized chamber for 80% multi-shot on kill, and of course that 30% I'm going to get that stacks up 5 times with each time I'm getting a kill. Vile acceleration to increase my fire rate for that primary shot. Galvanized aptitude for, again, 80% status chance on and on kill. I'm getting gun condition overload. Primed cryo rounds and malignant force is going to give me viral. Then I've got serration to increase my damage, and then I've got crit mods with vital sense and critical delay. Now, stabilizer, of course, is just going to affect the recoil, but you can put a vigilante mod in here if you want to. I have got primary merciless to increase my damage on kill, but I have got a second build that has a Bane mod instead of serration, and I've gone for primary frostbite on this one because my Sentinel or my Moa will be using either the Verglass Prime or the Tazakor, which also spreads a lot of cold damage, which is going to proc this arcane and increase my crit damage and my multi-shot every time I get a cold proc. Now, my third build, I also have a Riven, which increases my crit chance up to 30%. It is a multi-shot and crit chance Riven, but it also reduces my fire rate. And I'm kind of struggling to feel where I'm going to put a fire rate mod in here, because I kind of still want to keep the viral. I still want to keep the crit chance and crit damage. I could drop Vital Sense, because primary frostbite is still going to give me critical damage increase, so I could drop that and put, I guess, vile acceleration in there. But I'm kind of liking even having the slow fire rate. It hits really bloody hard. Now, on the flip side, if you're relatively new to Warframe and you're after picking up the Prime Axis and you've got the Trumna Prime now, but you don't have a lot of the mods that you will see in a build like this, then you could go for something like this until you eventually get the mods required. You'll still have crit chance, crit damage, you'll still have multi-shot and damage output, and you will still have viral and a faster fire rate. So it will be effective, but just nowhere near as effective as it would be if you get a build something like this. So this is new player, this is not, okay? But that's pretty much the Trumna Prime. Now, of course, you could mod it for corrosive or gas or blast or whatever you want. I've got it viral and heat at the minute because the Warframes I'm bringing, pretty much all of them, will completely remove defenses. I tend to subsume an ability onto Warframes to help me remove defenses of enemies to allow me to do more damage. On top of that, if you've got maybe a Panzerwolperfiler that's already spreading viral, you could feel free to mod for corrosive or, like I said, gas or blast or magnetic, or entirely up to you. But again, that's a Trumna Prime. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of it once you get your hands on it, or if it's a weapon you're actually looking for, what you like about this Prime version, or maybe what you don't. Maybe you've, like I said, you've got a decent Riven and now it's nowhere near as effective as you thought it was going to be. Let me know in the comment section below. Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.